Star of David deception. The truth is that King David never used a star, so calling it the Star of David is a nice-sounding name to cover what it really represents. Satan hides the true meaning of his symbols behind counterfeit explanations. To summarize, the six-pointed star is the supreme symbol of satanic tyranny, which has been used by people throughout history to directly or indirectly worship Satan. The idolatrous Babylonians, Egyptians, and Assyrians used it. The Israelites worshipped star gods, such as Remphan and Chiun. Solomon used it in worship of false gods and to invoke the powers of Satan. The Antichrist beast of Revelation, the Roman Catholic Church, uses it. The Jesuit-controlled ultra-wealthy Rothschild family uses it to steal the world's wealth. Satanists, Luciferians, astrologers, and witches use it to invoke the power of demons. The six-sided star numerically equals 666, 6 points, 6 triangles, six-sided hexagon. It's on Israel's flag because the Antichrist Jesuits control the state of Israel. Christians shouldn't have anything to do with the six-pointed star, as it is satanic. This mark of the beast identifies people groups that are Antichrist. The six-sided star was used by Babylonian astrologers for sun worship. Sigilla Solis 666. Coined Babylonian astrologers divided the starry heavens into 36 constellations, 10 days each. These were represented by different amulets called Sigilla Solis, or the sun seal. These amulets were worn by the pagan priests, and they contained all the numbers from 1 to 36. By these figures, they claimed to be able to foretell future events. Adding the numbers of any column either horizontally or vertically, and also the two diagonals crossing the square, the total is the same, 111. The sum of the 6 columns either horizontally or vertically is 666. So 666 is a number associated with pagan sun worship, which originated in the mysteries of ancient pagan Babylon. Sun worship, which is really Satan worship, has existed for thousands of years and is still worshipped to this very day by Mystery Babylon, the Roman Catholic Church, and the global elite in the world. The Israelites worshipped the star of foreign gods and were punished for it. Israel adopted the six-pointed star in the wilderness due to their apostasy. The mark of Cain was worshipped by the Israelites in the wilderness as the star of Remphan, which represents the god Saturn, also called Chiun. But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and Chiun your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Amos 5:26. Just before being stoned to death by the Jews, Stephen accused the Jewish leaders, "And you took up the tent of Moloch, and the star of your god, Remphan, the figures which you made, in order to worship them." Acts 7:43. Saturn worship is Satan worship. Satan got Solomon to worship him through false gods. After his marriage to Pharaoh's daughter in 922 BC, Solomon gave himself up to witchcraft and idolatry and built altars to Moloch, Ashtoreth, and Remphan, the ancient Egyptian star god. This is very significant because Solomon was a man of wisdom who was allowed to build the temple of God. Yet late in his life, Satan caused him to worship and build altars to false gods and use the hexagram to invoke the powers of Satan. King Solomon reintroduced the six-pointed star to the kingdom of Israel, so the talisman of Saturn became known as the Seal of Solomon. Talisman of Saturn. The six-pointed star is engraved on the talisman of Saturn, which is used in ritual magic. A bull's head is enclosed in a six-pointed star and surrounded by letters composing the name Rempha, the planetary genius of Saturn, according to the alphabet of the Magi. The bull represents Moloch worship and ultimately Satan worship. Satanists, occultists, and Freemasons venerate King Solomon, who owned a magic ring that was engraved with the Seal of Solomon, which gave him power over the invisible monarchy of demons. The History and Practice of Magic, Volume 2. The six-pointed star represents Satan, not the Star of David. The hexagram equates to 666, which Jesus said is the sign of the beast. Sign of the beast is a hexagram called the Star of David. It has 6 points, forms 6 equilateral triangles, and its interior forms a six-sided hexagon. Thus, it reveals the number of Satan's Antichrist beast. The 6 points, 6 triangles, and the 6 sides of the hexagon equals 666. The Bible attributes the number 666 to Solomon. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. Revelation 13:18. Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 603 score and 6 talents of gold. 1 Kings 10:14. So Solomon used the hexagram, not David. The Jews in Germany had to wear a star on the outside of their clothes so that they were easily identified. The hexagram represents Satan worship. Hexagram and Satan. Goat head. Satan ever seeks to establish his worship among the earth. He even tempted Jesus to bow down and worship him. How much more will he lead people in the end times, either through deceit or enticement, to do the same? Most people aren't going to worship Satan directly, so he uses other gods and idols to accept worship indirectly. Throughout the Middle Ages, the Seal of Solomon has been used by Arab magicians, Kabbalist magicians, Druid witches, and Satanists. It's the most powerful symbol used to invoke witchcraft, demons, and Satan. Satanism's 6-sided star equals hexagram. It's used in magic, witchcraft, sorcery, occultism, alchemy, and the casting of zodiacal horoscopes by astrologers. In fact, the word hex, as in to put a hex on someone, derives from the word hexagram. According to former Satanist Bill Schnoebelen, who is now a Christian, a hexagram must be present to call forth a demon, and it is a very powerful tool to invoke Satan. It is no mystery that in all the occults, the hex plays a central role in Satan worship, and upon and within these covens, human sacrifices are offered to Satan. The hexagram, like the pentagram, is used in practices of the occult and ceremonial magic, and is attributed to the 7 old planets outlined in astrology. The hexagram represents sun worship, which is Satan worship. Hexagram solar calendar. The symbol is linked with sun worship and the sun god, which again links back to the mystery religions. Deuteronomy 4:19 says, "And beware lest you lift up your eyes to heaven and see the sun and the moon and the stars, all the host of heaven, and be drawn away and worship them and serve them." The Satanic Illuminati offers sacrifices to Satan on his revered days, which are based on the cycles of the sun. On March 21st, a human sacrifice is required on the spring equinox. On April 19th, a fire sacrifice and a human sacrifice is to be made to the beast. Note, the Oklahoma City bombing and the Waco Branch Davidian siege occurred on this date. On June 21st, a human sacrifice is required on the summer solstice, which is called Litha. On September 21st, a human sacrifice is required on the fall equinox, which is called Mabon. On December 21st, a human sacrifice is required on the winter solstice, which is called Yule. Luciferians revere the hexagram. Luciferians don't use the name Satan. They believe that Lucifer is the good God, and that the God of the Bible is the evil God. Helena Blavatsky wrote that Lucifer is the true God, and she incorporated the hexagram in the emblem of the Theosophical Society, which she founded in 1875. The 6-sided star is prominent in their emblem, which includes the swastika, the ankh crossed with a circle that represents eternal life, the aum, and the Ouroboros, an ancient symbol depicting a serpent or dragon eating its own tail. She believed that there is no religion higher than Lucifer's truth. The interlaced triangles, one lighter, pointing upwards, and the other, darker, pointing downwards, symbolize the descent of spirit into matter and its emergence from the confining limits of form. At the same time, they suggest the constant conflict between light and dark forces in nature and man. When, as in the emblem, the double triangle is depicted within the circle of the serpent, the whole of manifested nature is represented, the universe bounded by the limitations of time and space. Satanists revere the hexagram, silver star from Satanist Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was a terribly decadent heroin-addicted, bisexual Satan worshiper who asked people to call him the Beast 666. Crowley believed that he was literally the anti-messiah of the apocalypse. He founded the Satanic Order of the Silver Star, and he designed the universal hexagram. His satanic motto was, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Based on those associations, you shouldn't support anything using the symbol. The Roman Catholic Church uses the hexagram. As you will see below, the Antichrist Roman Catholic Church reveres the symbol, and every entity that they control uses it too. This includes the Rothschild family, Freemasonry, Zionism, the State of Israel, and false religions. Pope Benedict hexagram. Here you can see the satanic hexagram prominently placed on the Pope's mitre. The mitre is shaped like a fish mouth, representing Dagon, the Babylonian fish god. In the mystery religions, both the forehead and hands were tattooed during rites of initiation to honor Dagon, whose hands and head were cut off by God. Read 1 Samuel 5:1-5. The State of St. Peter at the Vatican features a satanic hexagram. St. Peter statue at Vatican with hexagram. The statue of Peter at the Vatican features the supposed keys to the church and a disguised hexagram. Most people wouldn't notice the 6 points which form the hexagram.